Hi, my name is Celine. I'm 21 years old, and when I was just 16, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, also known as inflammatory bowel disease or IBD. But before I got that diagnosis, my life was a roller coaster of confusion, pain, and frustration. Let me take you back to that time. Before my diagnosis, I was constantly battling strange and painful symptoms. I had severe stomach pain, I was always exhausted, my concentration was terrible, and I often had joint pain from inflammation. On top of that, I struggled with digestion, irregular bowel movements, and my weight was way too low for someone my age. These issues affected every part of my life. School became especially hard for me. I was often late or had to stay home because I felt too sick to get out of bed. Teachers and friends didn't really understand, and honestly, I didn't either. So, like anyone would, I went to my doctor for help. But instead of being taken seriously, I was brushed off. The doctors said things like, "It's probably just puberty," or "Your hormones are acting up." Deep down, I knew something was seriously wrong. But hearing those words from a professional, it crushed me. It made me feel invisible. Thankfully, my parents weren't about to give up. After countless appointments and more than a few heated conversations with the doctor, I finally got a referral to a specialist who listened to me. After a series of tests, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Finally, I had a name for what was happening to me, but the relief of getting a diagnosis quickly turned into confusion. No one explained to me what Crohn's actually was. The doctors told me the basics: it's an inflammatory condition that affects the digestive system, but they didn't take the time to walk me through what it would mean for my life. I was left with more questions than answers. What I didn't know then, but understand now, is that Crohn's disease can affect any part of your digestive tract, from your mouth to your, well, you know. It's not just about stomach aches or bathroom emergencies. It can cause complications like malnutrition because your body struggles to absorb nutrients properly. Some people develop anemia, like I did, because of internal bleeding or poor iron absorption. Others might experience skin problems, joint inflammation, or even eye issues. These are called extraintestinal manifestations, a fancy term I learned way too late in my journey. The emotional toll was something else entirely. Nobody warned me about the anxiety that comes with planning every outing around bathroom locations, or the depression that can hit during severe flare-ups. I remember crying in my room one night, wondering if I'd ever be able to go to college or have a normal career. These weren't just teenage worries, they were valid concerns that deserved attention and support. Through my own research and connecting with others, I discovered there are different types of Crohn's disease, depending on which part of your digestive system is affected. I have what's called ileocolitis, which affects both my small and large intestines. Learning this helped me understand why certain treatments worked better than others for me. It's crucial information that could have saved me months of trial and error with medications and diet plans. Over time, I had to learn about my condition on my own. I dove into research, joined support groups, and started connecting with others who had Crohn's. What I discovered shocked me. There's so much that doctors don't tell you. From how to manage flare-ups to how certain foods or stress levels can impact your symptoms, these were things I had to figure out myself. But what stood out the most to me? How often young women, like me, are dismissed by doctors. I realized my experience wasn't unique. So many of us are told that our pain is all in our head, or just hormones. One thing I wish someone had told me earlier was about the importance of keeping a symptom diary. Not just tracking bathroom visits, but everything: your meals, stress levels, sleep quality, and even seemingly unrelated symptoms like joint pain or skin changes. This information is gold when you're trying to identify triggers or explain your symptoms to doctors. I now have years of data that helps me predict and manage flare-ups better. Let's talk about diet for a moment. While there's no one-size-fits-all meal plan for Crohn's, understanding your personal triggers is crucial. Through careful tracking, I discovered that certain foods like dairy and high-fiber vegetables can trigger my symptoms. But here's the thing: what triggers me might be perfectly fine for someone else with Crohn's. That's why it's so important to learn your own body's signals rather than just following generic advice. That's why I'm here today. I want this channel to be a safe space for people like you, whether you're living with Crohn's, another chronic illness, or just feeling unheard by the medical system. I've spent years learning about Crohn's disease and the ways it impacts not just your body but your mental health, relationships, and daily life, and I want to share that knowledge with you. You're not alone in this. This is a space where we'll talk about the things that doctors don't always explain: managing symptoms, advocating for yourself, and finding ways to live a full and happy life despite the challenges. We'll discuss everything from navigating social situations with dietary restrictions to building a support network that understands your needs. So, welcome to this community. I'm so glad you're here. Let's navigate this journey together.